Oh, where'd that other page go? That page, yeah, it's Halloween. My face shocked myself. Hey everyone, welcome to Two Dogs Digs for our Tuesday night show, the live hall path. Well, it's not really and today we're talking about Halloween, Falloween, Christmasween, Ween. Just weenies everywhere. There's just weenies everywhere. And of course, with weenies everywhere, we got to add our downstairs weenie.
I saw where that was going. Yeah. Thanks.
You knew where that one was going.
Thanks a lot.
I don't know. It just sort of I didn't mean it. It just sort of came out that way.
It's fine. I will forgive you next month.
Okay, thanks so much. Welcome everybody. Happy Tuesday. Big hello to everybody who's here on this side of us. There's a conversation going on in the YouTube channel. Lisa, Carl, Janet, Michael, Diana. Who else we got here? Kendra, Nellie, Lisa, and Dawn. Let's see. Hey, Heather. Greg and Kathy, who are watching on the TV tonight. Hi, Luette, Elisa, and Bob as well. Boo. No, not Weenie, not Ween the band. No, Linda. Hey, yeah, we're here to talk today about we're trying to figure out some topics over the next few weeks, and one of the ones that seemed to be coming up actually for us when we started going out. Hey, tomorrow, is that we started seeing a lot in the thrift stores and started selling a little bit more and seeing some activity on our holiday stuff. And so Rick and I were doing some comparisons, and we were a little earlier today, and we actually found that in the past 2 years, in looking at our sales, approximately 50%, almost 50% of our total sales in the entire year as resellers was in the September, October, November, December period. Summer's always been weak. This summer was a little weaker than usual. But it's starting to pick up again. Actually, we just got our first weekly payment from eBay this week that was close to what we were getting. Like, it's up big time from where we were like the previous week. It's like 500% more than what we got the previous week. So finally getting like the $1,000 mark again in weekly sales. Hey, Sherry. Diana is going to visit the dogs with your super big purse because of that blow, because of the blow mold.
Well, Diana, that will be in our Max Sold auction.
Actually, I'll just do that. You can see that actually gargoyle that's behind Rick is one of the things that we were thinking and wanted to talk a little bit about, which is blow molds. And we'll get onto that in a minute, but that's actually a big blow mold that we're going to be having in our local Max Sold auction. But just to give you an idea, we happened to go to Heather's had her best week ever. See, so some things are picking up. That's the nice thing, is people are picking up some of that stuff. So it's really good. And one of the things about the fall, though, is you literally have to think it's time to get listing more. It's time to get active more. If you happen to be in the northern climates or of US or in Canada, weather's starting to get cooler. Garage sales are over. A lot of flea markets are over. The outdoor shows are pretty well history in a lot of cases. And so with that, you need to look for ways to start getting money. And the way to do that is to start listing more and more and more wherever you can, and cross listing and things like that. But we we're still doing our thrifting, going to a couple of places. And this is, we went to, and actually just beforehand, one of the things that if you belong to our craft group, you'll see this is the Canadian Resellers and Fantastic Thrifters group on Facebook. And this week we started our challenge for the month. And our challenge for the month, we're going to be doing challenges every week, and they're listing challenges around Halloween and Christmas. So we thought we'd start out with Halloween, and this is the first listing that we have up there, which was a challenge to get something out of your profit pile, end and relist something, or just go out and shop. This is one of the things. Janet put up California costumes. We put up this high top hat pumpkin that we bought. Rick picked this up at a estate sale, I think, Rick.
That might have been at Madison Bookville.
Oh, okay. How much?
Part of that weekend, I think it was $3. It's from the cheap table.
And we posted it. We've already had and turned down 2 offers. And it ended up selling, an offer for $40. It ended up selling it actually sold for $55. So I know it says for $59 there. But that's one of the things that I think a lot of people don't think about is things like Halloween candy buckets and things like that. And we look for stuff that it's a little bit on the different side. In this particular case with this bucket, the reason we picked it up is it looked a little older. It had this really thick plastic
carrying strap
on the top of it, which shows that it's older as well. On the bottom of it, we try and look for marking. So Rick, normally what are you looking for when you look at those things?
Well, I couldn't find actually any markings on that. I just thought it was a cool form or a cool shape. I've rarely seen the pumpkin with the top hat, so I decided to buy it. It was $3, less than a latte.
And you can actually see that it is riveted.
Thick handle, and the handle is riveted. Usually, if it's newer, it might have the really thin plastic strand that has little balls on the end that hold it inside the pumpkin. That means it's newer. So the rivets actually helped. And yeah, so I was happy to get what we got for it.
And normally I guess the thing is it's looking for things that look a little bit different in terms of their style or and things that if you can look for markings, look for made in the USA as them. I actually saw in one of the Facebook groups I follow, I think somebody posted up and they found a vintage paper one that is the kind we've seen at antique shows and places like that run in the hundreds of dollars. And they picked it up at a thrift store. So you can find all sorts of fun stuff there. This is the sort of thing that we saw. Now, again, this is the type of buckets that you don't buy. These are the plastic side buckets. You can look at them and see. But this is actually one shelf that is just coming out at one of the thrift stores that we go to. It was a paper candy bucket. I'll see if I can find. It's like it was paper mache. Actually, yeah, thrift stores have a lot of new stuff. That's true. But most of the time, what we find is that if the thrift stores have the new stuff, there's some shelves that are on the side that have the older stuff at them. They're more like lanterns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they are. But I guess I don't know if they're.
They are paper mache though.
They're
when you stick a candle in them.
Oh, okay.
Well, they wouldn't burn your house.
I don't know. Some of them are small. Yeah, they are quite small. But this is the kind of thing and like this is obviously we're not trying to buy hair color, but we actually went and bought some spider web recently, didn't we, Rick? I found some spider web on one of our thrift trips, and it was like 50 cents because it was older, stretchy spider web. I'm not sure what we're going to sell that for yet. I can't remember where we put it. Like we found it, and then I don't know where it went.
It's probably in one of the holiday boxes.
Probably in a holiday box.
To be sorted.
Then the shelf beside this was Christmas stuff. And again, so it's like we're starting to see all the various sorts of Christmas things that come out. So it's that time of the year when sometimes Christmas just gets mixed in with this chef knife holder. I don't know why that's there. What do we got down here? And there's a lot of crap. I did look at this particular thing down in the corner here because it actually was a Department 56 reindeer house. It was $7.99. It was senior day, so that would have made about $4, $5, but it's only worth about $19. So we'll talk a little bit more about those too. You can find all sorts of neat stuff, including like amazing things like this hat. Like, who wouldn't want a hat like that?
Carnival hat.
This huge carnival hat. And yes, I had to try it on. This is me in the carnival hat. There it is on my head. There's me, big smile, with the big carnival hat on my head.
It's very fetch.
Is it me?
Yes, it is.
3 people go by me in the store when I had this on and go, as I'm putting on and taking a picture, they all went, looks great, looks good on you. And I didn't buy it though, because I thought, what the heck would I do? It was only $7, but what the heck would I do with it other than waiting to put it on here and then never wearing it any
I would
other.
not be able to find a box that could ship in easily.
No, it wouldn't ship easily because those feathers were tall. I don't know whether this was actually made where it was made for either. But again, this is the kind of thing that you could
That
look
looks
at.
like something for the carnival. They're the
Yeah, there was actually one you can see right there. There's actually one beside it as well. There was one on the side that was a little smaller, but I didn't pick those up. It might, yeah, that's me, big girl.
It probably was made for Caravana.
Probably.
Somebody
but it was interesting that it showed up there. And again, I didn't pick it up. I didn't think about picking it up. I don't want to try and sell it locally. And yeah, I'm sure there's lots of places that it would be really good. The Boomtown Festival in England, try explaining that on customs as you're going through what's in your suitcase. There is no way Rick would wear the other one. No. Literally, no way at all.
I would wear the alien mask.
Yeah, he would wear that alien mask that's there. That's the one thing that's about it. The extent of him is putting that on. He's gone dressed up for Halloween twice in the 37 years, and both times he went as himself, his evil twin,
and a baseball player.
Basically, he put on a jersey that he found at a thrift store and a baseball cap. That's
Yep.
So, Caravana, for anyone who's not familiar with it, and a couple of guys aren't familiar with it, Caravana is this gigantic celebration that happens in Toronto every year. It's a celebration of the Caribbean islands, Caribbean festival. It's a 3-day long thing that has, it's a second biggest parade actually in Canada. The number one is Pride, the Gay Pride Parade in June, and Caravana is the second biggest one. And Santa Claus Parade actually follows that as third. But yeah, it's a giant festival. But again, this is the kind of thing you can start finding as you're looking around various places. And as I mentioned, with the buckets, that is one of the things to look at. There we go. It's the time of year to look for all those sort of things. And as I said, that was the Christmas stuff is up there. So I'm going to show you something that I found literally last week when I was thrifting. And again, this is kind of a thrift it or throw it, but it's not really a thrift it or throw it because I'm showing you something that I found. I found these plates. And let's see, there they are. They were $3.99 for 4 of them. And this is in a thrift store. And it was just sitting there on the shelf. Along with a bunch of other Christmas type dinnerware. And this was 4 plates for $3.99. And the plates were Corelle. So I thought, this is interesting. It's Corelle, it's Christmas, and it's $3.99. So it was like $1 a plate. And Corelle is a little lighter than other plates as well. So it's a lighter thing to ship. Well, you know what? There weren't just 4 of them. There were actually 8 of them in this stack. And I found a set of matching snack bowls to go with them.
The side plates.
Little side plates that go with them. The salad plates that go with them. And so this is we listed them. There you see them. I put them in. I split the 8 and 8. I split them into a set of 4 and 4. So there they are. I had to do a little research on them and used one of my favorite things that we'll be talking about. And then 2 weeks, we're going to do a show, which is some of our favorite things to look at for research and joining and things like that. And found out that they were a pattern that was called Hollyberry, I think. Can't remember. I have to look at it. And we put them up, and in less, I guessed at a price, and in less than 24 hours after we listed them, we sold both sets for 95 US each. Out of stock. 95 US. $200, and all it cost us was $12 less 20%. We had a 20% off coupon. I know Schneikes is right. It's like, who would have thought that
I was shaking my head saying, why are you buying plates? I do not want to ship.
Oh yeah, that was Rick was like looking at me going, plates? I went, but they're Christmas plates. They're not heavy. Why don't we try them?
7 pounds, 4 ounces packed for each set.
Well, Andrew, you kind of heard. Well, he wasn't unhappy.
They did get packed really easily. They went in a 12 by 12 by 7 box. So with pool noodles and lots of padding. So
Don's actually may buy a plate, and it won't be a paper plate. Get it, Don? You do paper plates, like. No, they're the Corel is like a
glass.
It's like a glass. It's
shatterproof or
shatterproof kind of thing. So you have a full set. Yeah, take a look at those, because it was something that I had to look up. It wasn't a common pattern, I guess, but we just shipped it with USPS. Yep, just USPS. Lisa's saying she did. We did used a cross-border shipper. Set of Corel. She got it.
Surprisingly, priority mail. They actually paid enough shipping for them to be sent priority.
Yeah, I charged enough shipping for them. And then Heather's saying, why didn't you auction them? Because I honestly didn't think that I'd get $95. I picked the number sort of out of the blue because I couldn't really find anything. And I did do some research to try and see what they were there. And I think if I go right now, let me just pop over and see if I can get this in so I can look up Worth Point. I have to go to here, Worth Point, sign in, log in, and log in. And what are they called again? Evergreen Rose. So if I go in here and I pop that page up now, Evergreen Rose. Helps if I type in there, Evergreen Rose.
You might want to do Corel.
It helps if it should be that. Evergreen Rose. Well, no, let's add. Yeah, you're right. Let's add Corel.
Single R, double L.
61 items. And look, there's $115, $100, $99. So I thought, but they're also, that's listed highest to lowest. If I go most recent, $60, $25, $14 for a plate. So I thought that my putting them together as the 2 and 2 dinner plate, $79, I thought they would go. But I honestly did not think that they would sell in under $25 to 2 different people, literally probably like 10 minutes apart. Mm-hmm. So again, that's a Christmas item that you may not have thought about, but I want you to start thinking about that as part of the fall. Not only should you be looking at Christmas plates, but look at Halloween plates, look at Halloween dishes, look at Halloween bowls, look at Halloween mugs. Those are all things that the mugs are surprisingly. Last year we did some checking back in, and last year we sold these skull mugs for like $38 a piece, sets of them for $75, and they were like they were from a tequila brand.
Cuervas? I can't
remember. But because they were skulls, they didn't put them out until Halloween, so they were stuck in the Halloween section as these little tequila mugs that were in the shape of skulls. And again, we sold them for $75 a pair, and they were like $2.99 or $1.99 each. Or
and the second person that bought them wanted to know if we had any more.
Oh yeah, no, we kept their name in case we could find some more. Andrew's saying, I've got a stack of dishes you've procrastinated. We need a weekly challenge on those. Okay, maybe what we'll do is November will be dishes. because it is a challenge. Not a lot of people do that. Halloween Ray Dunn mugs. Yeah, that's a good idea. So, oh, bye, Tina. Bye, Tina. Bye, Tina. It does sound fancy, doesn't it? Vitrified. Diaz La Muertas mug for sale. So again, that's the kind of stuff that'll pick itself up as we get through into the year. And it's this kind of stuff that you want to look at. Now, a couple of things that we thought, it's the tequila brand owned by, might be. I'm not sure if the ones we had were that tequila brand or not.
Falloween?
I'm
trying to remember the name of it.
Just to give you an idea, this is some of the stuff that we currently have listed right now on eBay. We have this It's Alive little screaming windsock. We bought this for $2.99 and put the battery in. And the only thing missing from this, Rick, is we need to get a video of this, I think. We don't have it screaming because it shakes and it screams. We got it for $38. We have, this is what I'm talking about, a little ceramic witch bowl. Challenge with this is it's so shiny that a lot of the things look like they're chips, but they're actually not chips. It's the light reflecting on it. But this was, again, a couple of bucks. Got that listed at, that's by a thing called Gans. That's by Gans. And the boots actually come out and are the spreaders that you use there. So they're kind of cute. That's one of the reasons we picked those up. I think there's something else I had in there, but I can't figure out what it is. So those are a couple. That's Rick found the name. So Calavera. So again, that's one of the things that you want to start looking up. So I thought I'd show you a couple of things here when we're looking up these sort of things, and then we'll talk a little bit about some of the things that we're working towards more on Halloween, since that's coming up closer. There's a couple of places that we always want to go to. You always want to think about research and things like that. But there's a couple of good, for Christmas at least. I'm not really a member of Halloween, so I'm going to take a look at that after I show you the Christmas ones, a little backwards, but which is normal because I'm a little backwards. There's two really good Facebook groups for people. One of them is the Vintage Kitschy Christmas, and it is a really great group. There's 143,000 members to this group. So it's a group that lets you buy, sell, trade, and show off. So it's really a really good group. The other one, which is a lot tighter, but still a really, I think it's a great, even better group, is called Yes Virginia Christmas Online. So when you want to think about this, I'm going to go there, Rick, after this. That's what I just said.
I was asking the group, not you.
No. I thought you were just doing your typical, I'm not listening to anything you're saying. And so...
Hey, I haven't moved you around on screen. I haven't shut off your mic. I've been very well behaved today. Yeah,
and Ginny is the person who runs actually that group. So let me get back to that group. There it is. Here it is. So this is a really great group. Yes, that is Ginny's group. So right now they actually have a thing in there which is social media sharing. So this is the thing I like about this group more so than the one with 140,000. In this group, those are pictures, by the way, of all of the Hallmark Jingle Pals from 2004, 5, 6, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2009's missing 10, 11, and 12 and 13. So up to 2013. So it's missing 2009.
It doesn't have the oven. Where's the exclusive Canadian?
I know. Well, that's just I don't know I can't remember what year that is, but this is this one group. So the way to find a group that you may want to look at is go up into the Facebook side. Instead of just hitting search Facebook, click on the group's logo. So I'm doing this in thing right now, and in the groups we can look up Halloween. So it's going to bring up all. So you click on groups, and there you go. So here's all things Halloween buy and sell. 230,000 members are in that group. To join the groups, they're usually really easy. This is just buy and sell your Halloween here, visit, and then I'm already a member of that group. That's all. Some of them are ask you some questions like we do in craft, but this is what this group is. And there's all sorts of other related groups. Nightmare Before Christmas, all 64,000 people in all things Halloween too. So it takes a little bit of digging to try and find which ones work the best for you. That's one of the reasons that I like, you may end up finding something like Let's Go Halloween Shopping with 5,000 members as a better group for you than something with 63,000 members. The challenge with really large groups that have like 125,000 people, and especially as a buy and sell group, is they actually, your posts have a tendency to get lost. Like because there's so many posts that come through, boom, 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 boom. You can move down very quickly. Yeah, that's true. That's
Diana is a good point. Make sure you answer all the questions.
Yeah, Ginny did have an unfortunate incident as well. Sherry, for the love of Lefton. So I'm going to just see if I can pick that one up right there. If I go to here, let's see if I pick up Lefton and see what happens when I go onto here, click down the side and go to groups. Lefton, NAPCO, Anthropomorphic, 8,000 members of that. So again, that's a group that I'm not a member of. So you can't see a lot of the posts in them, but here's the thing is you can join the group and it's there's usually the rules about the group are right in there. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about this. I think I better join that one. So your membership is dependent. Why do you specifically, what do you collect? How did you hear about our group? I have to put in there, Sherry. I understand. And I agree to group rules. And then there's the group rules in there. For me, one of the challenges is some of the groups, I actually always read the rules because the challenge is there's groups that don't allow links to your eBay posts or don't allow links to your Etsy page or don't allow links to your Instagram. And that's the kind of group that I don't really like as much because I do want to, if I've got something going on, if I've got a sale coming up, if I've got a whatnot show coming up, I want to be able to talk about it in these groups. And so there's sometimes a challenge with that. You don't get to promote yourself or promote your product. But again, in Yes, Virginia, they're doing pins and posts right there. So it's one of the places that you probably take a good look at. One of the things, so I'm going to go on to a little bit now about some of the Halloween stuff that we have. We saw that little shaky thing. This was actually something I saw today. And this was, I didn't buy this, Rick. I thought about it. It's a Giggle Buddy.
Aww. I saw you giggle and talk.
It's and burp and fart. No, it's a Giggle Buddy, and it sways, giggles, and talks. And it's a ghost that has little denim feet. Now, it was cute. And I actually took it out of the box. And surprisingly, it had the batteries in the box. So I turned it on. And it giggled. And it talked. But it didn't sway in any way. So I don't know whether it worked or not. It was only $5.99. But I thought, I'm not really sure if Rick wants me bringing home a Giggle Buddy. And it isn't tiny either. So it's bad enough that I picked up 2 very large things today.
Well, no, you've bought bigger things.
That's what they're calling it. Hey, you want to be my Giggle Buddy? Oh yeah, Littlest Pet Shop groups, they're horrible. It's like I've actually left a number of groups recently that have been like, every post has been somebody saying, please sell me stuff cheap. I'm looking for this reasonable. It's like, I don't believe any of you in any way whatsoever. Speaking of which, I'm going to tell you a little story. It's got nothing to do with Halloween. This is just when people are talking about like trying to get stuff dirt cheap. This is about a return.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Why?
I wouldn't.
Well, okay. Rick won't let me talk about it, so we'll discuss it, and we might discuss this return in next month. Because
we'll chat about it.
We'll chat about it, but yeah, we'll go back to the Giggle Buddies.
Well, no, I will.
No, Rick, you're not letting me talk about it. Shut up. So one of the things is when you look at these kind of things, these Giggle Buddies or any of these animatronics, and I know if Adrian's watching, he hated the idea that I had to do interactive stuff, but animatronics can be really big. And we actually sold a number of animatronic or motion sensors things. Like even that one that I showed you that we have listed, that little glowing spider that screams and stuff, that's like interactive motion sensor. And it's one of the things that when people come up to your door. So it's by a company called Gemmy. And we've talked about them before. We always like talking about them. Gemmy makes a lot of stuff. And I saw somebody else actually put a note in there about Home Depot. That got tons of stuff at Home Depot. Actually, if I can find that. Somebody else had typed it just recently up in there. And I can't find it now. But yeah, Home Depot is like huge with doing this sort of thing. And so is Lowe's. In fact, Lowe's has inflatables and things like that by Gemmy. It's a big company that are making inflatables. And they literally sell out when they get stuff in. Last year, we were looking for a Haunted Mansion one from there, and we couldn't even get it. Like we went to Home Depot's or Lowe's in the States, and it was sold out of every single one of them. But this is what Gemmy does. They make all these different things, and if you go to their story, you can see all this type of stuff, the type of things about what kind of 30 years of innovation. They have all sorts of different things, air-blown inflatables, light shows. And if you go to Gemmy on eBay, on its own, there are over 2,000 results. Now, here's something that literally I found 2 of these last year, didn't buy them. Don't know why. Probably because I couldn't test them. This vintage Halloween talking skull sold for $63. And there's another one, the Spirit Ball, that sold for $65. Zoltan, the animated life-size fortune teller, $70. We actually have one of these swinging things. Look at these Spirit Balls. They're all selling for $70, $75. And you can find a lot of these things. They're the weird. Some of them are so weird. That you actually can, look at that, $70, $75. You can even find sometimes the blow-up things, like there's a blow-up 12-foot Reaper for $54. But we found, yeah, that skull, I got to keep an eye open for that skull. Looks like they can sell for good money. Lots of people selling this skull and Zoltan. This is the last year's Haunted Mansion that you can't even find anywhere now. There's so much stuff in here. Again, so you want to take a look, and we want to look out for the name Gemmy when you're looking. Actually, that's the.
It was way
Andrew,
the beginning of this.
I actually went into a Canadian Tire, which is like a hardware store in Canada for those of you who are in the US, and they were trying to set up an inflatable tree, and it was about a 14-foot tree, and it was on top of the shelf that they were trying to put it on. And the manager, the 2 people setting it up, they couldn't get it to stay up because it's an inflatable, and you need to tie it to something, so that it kept falling over because it was just way too big and way too tall. So you've never heard of Gemmy? No.
Yeah, vintage Gemmy can be really, really good money.
And I'll tell you this, I'm showing you things here. I actually put this in with a price valuation on here. So I've got this in right now with price value maximum $75, you see over at the side here. But if I take out that and I go and I knock out $75, $35 to $75, there's 6,000 things. And take a look at some of these things that they've got here. These are $2,000. If you can find life-size things, and I've actually seen some of those too, show up at, I just wouldn't want to end up shipping them. $699, $799. So these are larger things.
Look at the shipping on some of those, honey.
Huh?
Look at the shipping on some of those.
Oh yeah, shipping is $118 and it's sold.
Yes.
$175 and sold. So you can find some of these things of all sorts of different kinds. The Beheaded Bride and the 53-inch tall Beheaded Bride, free shipping, but $599. So again, take a look at Jemmy, look at it on eBay, and you'll see some really interesting kinds of things. And again, they're not all inflatables, but they have a lot of those things you'll see on the shelves will be, if I can find that other picture. There we go. So I can tell there a lot of times you'll find them like this. They're going to be up in this corner. It'll be boxes that look kind of like this porcelain thing, like yellow boxes. That one behind is, I think, a Jemmy of some kind. But again, you can find them pretty well everywhere. Now, buckets, again, we talked about what you look for in that. But one of the other thing, and always take a look at things like the ceramics. But one of the other things you'll see in here, costumes, costume pieces, costume parts. And this is another thing that can be really big. Yeah, Jemmy plush, yes. We have sold some die cuts. We actually just bought some die cuts, April. They're not hard to ship because I think what a lot of people do with them is they try to figure out how I can box it. And you know what? You leave the box flat. That's the easiest way of doing it. Just take a box, and if you've got one from like the food grocery store or whatever, cut it down and flatten the box. Then just tape it all up, and everything stays inside it, and it stays really stiff.
One point to make. When you're looking at your corrugated box, you'll see the little channels in the corrugation. If you're cutting boxes, cut it so that the corrugated part goes one way on one piece and across on the other. That way it will be less likely to bend, because if they're lined up, they'll bend more easily.
We've never had any of the paper stuff destroyed. We've sent posters like that. We've sent a lot of different flat things like that. Posters, popcorn, just like popcorn things, like the flat popcorn decorations, poster boards, centerpieces, all sorts of stuff like that. And it's just 2 pieces of cardboard, as Rick said, instead of doing them like that. You can do them if you're not cutting the box apart, then just hold it together like that. But if you are cutting it apart or 2 pieces apart, as Rick said, put them together like that so that it stops.
Or you can do multiple layers too.
Yeah.
It'll add stability.
Lisa sends all her ephemera and melted popcorn that way. Melted popcorn decorations. She doesn't just melt popcorn.
Are we going to do our throwback to our Jemmy from a couple years ago?
Huh?
Are we going to do a throwback to our Jemmy find from a couple years ago? Duke Kaboom?
I didn't prepare it.
I've got
I
it.
didn't prepare it.
I've got it.
Oh, well.
Look at him. Craig was at one of our local thrift stores and he saw this.
Can you click on the picture of that and make it bigger?
I don't know if it'll go bigger.
Your screen.
How's that?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you were walking through a thrift store and you saw this white box on the shelf. And it's an air-blown Duke Kaboom. This is one of the listing pictures.
6 feet tall.
And I could not find it anywhere. I contacted the Jemmy website, customer support, and they didn't know what it was. So it was actually the prototype. I don't know what's happening here. Sorry.
That's okay, Rick. I found something here. Let me click to mine. This is actually from our Ink Frog listing.
Okay. I'm going to close my tab then.
So there's Duke Kaboom. And there is the prototype. It was literally sent to Lowe's, Canada as a Jemmy prototype. We tested it, went back into the box. It had the Canadian thing. And Duke Kaboom, in case you didn't know who Duke Kaboom was from Toy Story 4. And he was the He was voiced by Keanu Reeves. I mean, even the thing doesn't, it looked like it was done by hand, like with a marker and everything like that. Well, as Rick, oh, you took your page down, Rick. Where's your?
I did. I'm sorry.
Well, as Rick was going to, would have shown you, Duke Kaboom sold. We bought him for $7.99, I think, Rick.
Yep. And he sold for $288.
$288 for Duke Kaboom.
Now that was on auction, and it was the opening bid.
Yeah, but that's what we like about trying auctions and just seeing whether they work or not.
But again, the point that I'm trying to make is Craig recognized the box. I don't think the picture of Duke Kaboom was facing front. I think it was on its side. So you pulled out the box to see what it was and saw that it was an inflatable and then bought it.
If it's animated and it doesn't look cheap, there's a good chance it's Jemmy. Even Billy the Bass, the singing bass, is Jemmy. Yes. At least just sold a Jack Sparrow kids costume as well. So yeah. So I mean, Rick, I don't know if you can find it or not. We've got one listed right now. Actually, I might be able to find it on our eBay listings, which is the scary shaking one that you've got. You priced it at $125, and that was another Jemmy thing that we picked up for probably like $6, $7, $8. So, but we were talking a bit about masks before Rick took us in a different direction.
Sorry.
And we did sell the. So where'd it go? So we had this mask that we sold last year. And again, this is just to show you what you can look for, is because a lot of people don't think about this. This mask, which is this freaking scary snow. So a lot of times, again, sitting on those shelves, there'll be old costumes and old heads and things like that. This was this scary snowman, little thing made in Mexico down there. And it actually, I guess, was owned by somebody named Madison. But this is it. It's like a old rubber, scary, creepy mask that sold for $68 US. And so what I wanted to show you was, like, there's a different kinds of masks. You can go back and you can go to the old school masks. So old school masks are these kind that you used to see all the time. That kids used to wear. I guess if you were my age, this was the kind of thing you would wear when you were a kid. They stopped letting kids wear them because kids couldn't properly see out of them and then get hit by cars. But this is some of the ones we're going to be putting up this year. We picked these up this summer. So we've got Sylvester the cat. I have a little skull. So they're light plastic. So you need a good box for them. You have to do a little bit of research around them. There's a couple of main companies that make them. Ben Cooper is one of the big names. I don't know if you can find, Rick, if there's any references on that. But you take a look. They usually have. They don't still have to have the elastic on the back either. Like this one still has the elastic on it. Sometimes you can tell. Take a look inside, see if there's how they're put together. This particular one, I don't know which clown that is, or that's like a clown bum. Then we have this in here. This is a Walt Disney production, so it's pre-1986, and it's an old Mickey Mouse. And it's not in the greatest shape. This actually has a little sticker on the inside that says "Made in France" for Van Damme. So Jean-Claude Van Damme wore this. In this case, this is in such bad shape, Mickey's missing an entire ear. But this was actually part of the entire... I love the eyes. Like, look at this. The eyes, if you notice, they have the actual, like, iris into them. So it's a little creepy. So again, this is some kid had this, lost an ear. It's been taped up. I don't know if we're going to get any money for this or not, but we got it with these other masks. Paid about $10 for that box of masks. Hopefully we'll be able to make it 20 or 30. But we always I always grab every single soft rubber mask that you see. Like that one I was just showing you that was the skeleton here. This one. So sorry. I looked at this.
My browser isn't cooperating. I can't actually.
So I look for soft things. So this is what I mean by soft. So now there's a company that made a lot of these called Ruby, and Rubies, Rubies, still makes masks a lot to this day. But some Rubies masks are worth good money. But what I want you to do is when you're in the store, there's a couple of things I want you to try and look for. Sometimes I bought the snowman, even though it just said made in Mexico. No idea what it was. But a lot of times what you need to do is look around the edges of the mask. This happens to be, I got this one because it really looked to me like it was something from like a Lord of the Rings type thing. It's in great shape. So try to make sure you don't have things that have big tears in them, like Mickey's ears, especially in the latex type masks. Sometimes you'll find what people have done is to make them fit themselves, they'll cut them up the back, and that'll obviously make it worth a lot less money. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but you can try them on. It smells like mask.
So fetch.
There we go. So you can try. There you see. So this is soft. No rips or tears to any of this anywhere. It's clean inside. But what I want you to do is look around the edges, all this sort of area, because some cases you will find the manufacturer. And in this particular case, if I were not mistaken, there was no manufacturer name, but they'll be written down like right along the edge here. Like, oh, there it is. Oh, there we go. What am I talking about? So you can say, there we go. Disguise, made in China. So 2005 by Disguise. So I got to do a little more research on this one. I think this was probably about a $3.99 or $5.99 mask. I will spend $5 on a mask, especially since I found that snowman sold for $70. The scarecrow mask.
It sold.
It sold last year for $68.
I think it went to Quebec too.
I think it did.
As I recall.
Scream masks are a tricky one. And I'll tell you why. Because there are literally, you can look for Scream mask. Now, I'm going to show you, this is one of the ones it's kind of terrible. Scream, when it first came out, made masks. But they've been made over and over again. So this is the Scream mask that you're probably all familiar with. There's over 3,000 of these in stock. Now, here's the difference. It's really hard to say, but so this is just Scream mask. Now, you notice they have up here Fun World and Generation 1. Now, let's take a look here at solds. And you'll see there are a lot of solds, 1,200 masks, but they sell for anywhere from $60 to $560. You notice that? $560 for an auction with 2 bids. Now, it's Generation 1 Fun World. Now, the way that you can take a look is, see if you can look at any of the differences in here. Good condition, no tears, rubber portion, no cracks, still glows. That's so little information for somebody getting $500. Let me just see if I can find something on here that helps you define. There's the Fun World logo down here. And that's the inside of the mask. So, but again, that $560. If we go back, oh, here we go. You can see 30, 60. It's a very popular mask, but you're never going to know what one. There's $750. So you'll have to do a little bit of research in it and double check, because if it's Fun World, there's a Fun World one there that's sold for $179. And these are used masks too. That's all the thing that's amazing is a lot of these are used. So I actually saw one of these today. While I was out today, I saw a Scream mask. It was torn, so I didn't even bother looking at it. We have sold Not this Fun World one, but we have sold screen masks. You also can find them with blood that pumps into their faces and all sorts of those. Yeah, April. So 2 of them for $300 a piece. Thought they weren't in great shape. They had the t-shirt material as opposed to the poly blend. There we go. Thank you, April. Thanks for that tip. So that's what it is. It's the poly blend. It's t-shirt type material on it. So let me just see if I can go back here again. Let's see if I can find something in here so t-shirt type material. So as opposed to that sort of slippery kind of thing, it's more of a t-shirt type. I'm trying to see if there's something. Look at this, $1,200. And Ghost one, Fun World, Fantastic Faces screen. Look at this. So that's, you can almost see from that it's much more of a t-shirt type material there. Thank you, April. That was really good to know. Because I again, the inside looks a certain way. So Heather, you got to do a little extra research in there. It's surprising to me how little information though people are putting on these. For this is believed to be based on measurements, nose shape, cotton shroud, hand cut eyes, mold markings, and Fun Wide World copyright on the chin. This shroud and mask have been hand stitched back together. And it sold for $1,200. So some folks, they cray about what it is, but that's
we like those kind of folks. We like those buyers.
Like those kind of folks. We really do like those kind of folks. So I'm trying to just do a quick checkup on my tabs. Rick, can you chat for a moment just about generally Christmas and Halloween stuff and what you look for when you're looking at stuff?
No.
Yes, you can. Come on. That's a good boy.
I have nothing.
Talk about the blow molds behind you.
All right. We actually find a lot of blow molds when we're out and about. This one is actually made in Canada. And it is adorable. And we bought it for $5.99, and I think Craig had a 20% off coupon, as he normally does. This guy, he's very large, so I won't be able to show all of him on camera. He is the Goofy Gargoyle, and I think whoever owned him before stuck him on a post. He does have a light bulb inside, and his eyes and his teeth are very bright when you put the light on. I don't know where he was made. I couldn't find any markings on him, but I'm pretty sure he is older. And again, we're going to put him in our max sold auction and see how many other people love them.
We will do him in max sold. Now, I just want to answer a comment that April made. April, we actually recommend doing auctions, and we're actually going to be doing at eBay Open. We actually have a little thing on how to do auctions and how to do them right. We don't worry about hackers. They're so few and far between that we don't even care about them. We don't really care about scammers. They're so few and far between. In 28 years of listing and selling on eBay and every other platform, and probably 30 to 40,000 items that we've sold and shipped, we've dealt with people who are hackers or things like that once or twice. So don't think about that. Go ahead and do what you need to do. If you like doing buy it now, that's great. But we love doing auctions. We start about 30 to 40% of our items as auctions. We have a strategy for them. There's actually a YouTube video that we've got on the Two Dog Zigs channel on the top tips for doing auctions and how to decide if there's one. But especially with things like this, I didn't want to do it with the corral. Just didn't even think about it. Just thought, okay, I'll just pop these up there. We put about 20 other items, though, we've got up right now for auction. And I put the opening bid on a number of them at the number that we want. And we've never had issues with auctions. We have maybe 5% of them people don't end up paying, but 5% of everything. So Heather says, just for fun, World Market has cute Halloween houses at Christmas that I add menorahs into the windows. Yes, there's a World Market in the U.S. They're not in upstate like New York. They have some amazing MCM little putz houses that are there. One gargoyle is on eBay, says Empire 1995.
I see that. I didn't see Empire on the back of
Had
mine.
the gargoyle, sold them to a lady who was shipping it to Hawaii. Yeah, I just yep, MCM houses. They're so cute.
It does say Empire.
Oh, okay. So it is an Empire one. I don't know. Again, we don't want to ship something like that. If we don't have to, we don't. And again, the difference between what we would get on eBay versus what we would potentially get, it gives us an item that is potentially drives people into our max sold auctions. We have items like this we try all the time. I watch max sold auctions to see locally. Blow molds do really well in the max solds. We've sold a number of blow molds in them. And this guy has actually been up in our house for a couple of years. And then we put him into our storage unit. So, but we also have two others. We have a tall ghost, the one I just brought.
With a pumpkin.
I just went to our storage unit today, actually, and picked up the gargoyle. I picked up this like 4-foot tall ghosts on a little cemetery statue, and another giant pumpkin with a really big, cute face. And so with those are the types of things. If you bid and win, you send me in New Jersey. You're gonna ask the guy who has to pack it.
I don't know if we have a box he would fit in.
People was saying in terms of initially when you listed the Scream mask, you got a hacker bid and then didn't pay. Oh, okay. Just link to the Scream mask. Oh, okay. And you don't normally have issues. Yeah, it every once in a while it can happen to you on something, but we just try and go, well, if we're just forget about it. You never know, and we work on it every one of them on its own, and don't worry about something that's ever happened in the past either. It won't stop us from doing something again in the future.
We also don't cancel bids. We let them go to non-paying where we can.
Now, keep in mind, there's a couple of other things that you want to think about if you're a seller. Number one is if you are not on Whatnot yet, you should think about going on to Whatnot. There are great shows on there. We're actually part of a Halloween train that is coming up on Whatnot. Coming up a little later on, we're going to be having we might even do our own, but we did Christmas shows last year that were on Vintage Christmas and things like that. So you can go into here, you can click on search, and even if I put in there Halloween, what comes up, these are, look at this, Christmas, fall, Halloween shows, Halloween time shows. So there's somebody who's got, it literally looks like they've got Jemmy and things like that. There's somebody else with stuff. These are all shows these are actually live right now. So this person is live with 30 watchers on there. There's 542 listings about Halloween in there. We all know that there's everything from show up there. That's what I'm looking for. These are all shows that are coming up. 923 shows coming up. These are all shows that have something to do with Halloween in them. So it's a great place. Sherry is took a little while. She sells jewelry on there, and she actually has finally said that she's found her little niche for the time that she's got for doing her jewelry show. So we've been off of Whatnot now for almost 6 weeks. We're getting ready to go back on. We're going to be doing that big time in the fall on Whatnot. If you want to learn more about Whatnot, just send us a message. Join us in the craft group as well. We'll talk about it more on there. Take a look at our YouTube channel, and you'll see we've got a bunch of things that talk about Whatnot. If you're on Etsy, right now on Etsy, they have holiday workshops that are coming up. So you can join in your Etsy group. You can go into the Etsy community and you can find that. So it's a series of workshops to help you know about how to do things better, how to help buyers, holiday success. So that's in Etsy. And then eBay itself, don't forget, eBay Open is coming up in just under 2 weeks, or just in about 2 weeks. If you haven't registered for eBay Open, make sure you take a look at that. Just go into eBay, into eBay's community, and look at announcements, and you'll find the link for eBay Open, and you can register for that. There's multiple sessions in there. There's seller-led sessions. There's breakout. We do a breakout on how to do best auctions. So it's 3 days, September 27th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. It's really not the 26th, and it's really not the 29th. They last about 3 hours a day. So it's, again, another great place for you to think about. So we want you to think about that when it's coming up to the stuff that you're going to be doing, because there are big sales coming up for everybody with Falloween, Christmas as well. I know we focus a little bit more on Halloween now. We'll do another one that talks a little bit more about Christmas as we get into probably the first week of November. But keep your eyes open. Get out to those thrift stores. Take a look at those shelves. Take a look at what's out there. Find that bucket that you can get. Take a look at those hats. Maybe I'll go back to that. And shop those Christmas shelves, because they're out there. You never know. You might find that really expensive Corel set that, even though your hubby says, I don't want to send that, you can buy it and then make him go, okay, I'm happy now. You bought it. I understand. And now he's going to let me buy more plates. That's the one thing he will let me do now. Thanks so much for joining us here on our Two Dogs Digs Falloween special. Give us a thumbs up. It would be great if you can. Thanks again to everybody over here who is a supporter of us on the Kennel Club. Got your little names and icons. Thank you so much for
Bid
that.
on our gargoyle.
Bid on our gargoyle. We're going to be launching that auction tomorrow, and it'll be ending next Thursday night. But we are not we are not shipping it, Sherry. I'm sorry. We don't have a box. If Rick could ship this, he could ship these other things I have in the garage that he keeps saying he can't find a box for. So I'm not going to let him ship that gargoyle if he won't ship those other dolls first, because those dolls are worth more than that gargoyle easily.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe.
Yeah. So thanks again. Keep your eyes open and follow into the weenie world and make fetch happen. Ooh,
scary stuff. Have fun, kids.